Hey folks, it's Jang here from Jang Bricks with a look at LEGO Star Wars set number 9493 with 560 pieces. This was released in 2012 and obviously it is the X-Wing Starfighter. Now LEGO has made multiple versions of this over time, and as of the time of this video, this is the most recent version that's been created in this scale, in just the normal minifig scale. Okay, so over here on the left, of course, you have to have Luke Skywalker. That's pretty much essential for this craft. He's got his light blue lightsaber with a metallic hilt, and this helmet piece has had that print since 2010. They released that with the AT-AT Walker set in 2010. It's also in the Hoth Attack set from 2013. You can see what he looks like on the back there, and he's got his R2, his R2-D2 astromech droid, old model, the R2s. But what's more interesting to me here is this. This is an exclusive figure. It's Jack Porkins. He died so quickly. But you know what? Every single true Star Wars fan out there remembers his face, remembers that scene of him getting ready to blow up. And finally he has been immortalized in this exclusive figure in minifig scale. Awesome. I think it's a great tribute to a memorable yet fleeting moment in Star Wars history, really. And he does have an exclusive face print and also an exclusive helmet print there. Nothing different for the torso or the legs, and he does not have a face in the back, nor does Luke Skywalker. Also exclusive is his specific astromech droid. This is an R5 unit, obviously. It's R5 D8, this one is, and it was a exclusive print also with the top and the torso piece for it. So the X-Wing itself is probably one of the most iconic anythings ever in the history of anything Star Wars related. It's that key good guy spacecraft, fighter craft that everybody remembers from the original trilogy. So important. And you know, there are games based on just this one ship. It's a great design itself, and like I said, LEGO has done these a number of times, and I think that this is the best one that they've come up with in minifig scale to date by far, mostly because of the proportions. They've narrowed up the body, so this is getting nice and thin up in here, and they've got a good proportion with the length of the nose here, I think, the span of the wings, and this is also very important, the length of the laser cannon barrels. All very important for kind of the key points of the look of the X-Wing. Also, they got these engines nice and narrow and also sticking out pretty far. They were kind of awkward in the way they were designed on the actual craft in the movies. One thing that I'm not going to do here is go back and reference screen captures from the movies and such to check on the authenticity of the markings of the specific placement of the gray and the red and the dark red. I'm just not gonna do that, because to my eye this just looks great. It might not be perfect and authentic, but I'm very happy with it. They do use some tan here, which is a little bit odd, but I think what the tan represents is dirty white. It's kind of a way of getting some shade in there without going all the way to the light gray, which actually looks darker to the eye than this in general. I think it works okay, and actually adds a little bit of vibrancy, I think, to the appearance of the whole thing. From the back, I don't like the exposed holes in these Technic bricks that are going across there. Also, you've got these rubber bands that are fully exposed, so that's a little bit of a detractor to the look. But those rubber bands are all about the action of being able to lock the foils open or closed. So right now they're locked closed, and it's the rubber bands that are holding it. This knob right here can be turned, and that brings the foils to their open position. And you can see the mechanism in there. It's actually spinning across this axis, going through the fuselage. And when it gets all the way open, there are these two pairs actually of inverted tiles, the round 2x2 ones, and that little full-size Technic bushing just gets stuck in there, one on each side. This is just on a 3-length axle, and it fits really well and works really well. Studs on top here, studs on bottom here, so you've got symmetry between the wings. And let me just zoom this out so you can see the overall look of this thing a little bit better. And there it is. That just looks really good to me. That is the look of the X-Wing. Certainly the Ultimate Collector series gets way closer to the exact proper dimensions and whatnot, but for minifig scale, I think they did a really great job here. From every angle, it looks right. Playability is always a concern for me for more complex builds with wings and interesting different angles that are put together. I just do want to point out you've got an interesting, very long angle here that uses these hinge pieces. That's done really well. Gets that nice narrow nose here. A little bit of a extra bulb here, maybe a little bit thicker than it ought to be, but still looks okay. And then coming back here, just talking about how the durability is. While putting these wings together, we did find that they are a little bit flimsy in their construction on the inside. Just assembling the whole thing together, they started to flex and open up. Playing with it, I think with the foils locked closed is kind of the most dangerous thing for durability and just keeping the parts together. I think when they're locked open, they're actually a little bit safer. But what happens is that you can already see it just a little bit here. These pieces in here start to separate. This tile will start to separate. You can see just a little bit of a gap starting to form there. I didn't shake it for very long, but that is something that just in handling this while building it and after building it, just looking at it, those things would loosen up. So that is something to watch out for. The good news is that when you close this up, because the rubber bands, you've got two of these in white, they're actually holding the parts together. And because the parts are really close here, you can just squeeze them back together with a couple of fingers like that. And you don't need to go in and very carefully make sure you're supporting the right places and maybe take some things off and put it back on. These are the things that come apart naturally right here, and they're very easy to put back together. So that really helps to save it for me on durability marks. I was worried that it was going to be kind of flimsy, but just the ability to very quickly put back together the things that naturally come apart, I think helps a lot in real world use. This does have a single landing skid here at the front, which can be retracted. You can bend that up and go up in there. Not too bad, that goes in pretty well. And then it just sits on these two pads on these little tiles that are upside down here. So no extra skids back there, but that's okay. It just kind of sits down on the ground. Now the cockpit, I'll go ahead and open that up so you can see exactly what pieces used there. There is a real seat in there, dark green seat. It's got a nice little space for the arms on the sides, and then it does have a targeting computer on a printed tile, not an exclusive design for this set. Behind there, you've got your astromech droid bay, and this is the one really unfortunate thing about this design. I don't think they could have gotten away from it, but in order to have the narrower body here, they took out room to put the astromech in sideways. So your R2 or your R5 needs to go in sideways like this, which is kind of awkward. However, once he's in, you know that these droids have swiveling heads. What you should do is just take the head off, rotate it 90 degrees. Now it's facing the right direction, the head is. The shoulders aren't, but that's a really small detail. That's still a good look. And the head's facing in the right direction. That's kind of the key thing there. The arrangement of the shoulders is not really that important. So I think they've done the best that they could do within the size constraints and keeping it still within a reasonable price range without going crazy with 1,000 parts or something like that. So I'm really happy with this. Overall, the look is great. The design is very nice. There's some nice design. There are some nice design techniques or build techniques used in the construction and assembly of this thing. A little bit tricky to build when you're working on the core early on in the build, the mechanism for the foils, but once you get past that, it becomes a lot more straightforward. And the main minifigure here, Luke Skywalker, we've had plenty of Skywalkers. That's not a big deal to me. However, Jack Porkins, as an adult fan, I can really appreciate his inclusion there. I don't know if all of the younger fans will appreciate that quite as much, but overall, I'm really happy with this thing. And 560 parts for $60 puts the price per part right in the normal range. So it's a good deal on parts, and you get a good set overall. So I'm very happy with this, and hope that you enjoyed this look at it. And if you're considering getting this set, I hope that this helped you to make up your mind. So thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more reviews as well as custom builds to come, and watch for all of my updates that are LEGO related at jangbricks.com. Talk to you again soon.